What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Lodge Podcast, also known as the Slodgcast.
What is up, Slodgers? How we doing?
Hope you guys are all slodging today.
Yep. Hopefully y'all are keeping it slodging.
And keeping it real, too.
Mm-hmm.
Always keep it real. Always keep it 100.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I always say. I always tell everybody that.
You do?
What episode is this?
19.
Yeah.
Yep.
Episode 19.
It's been getting warm outside.
Which is one half of 76.
There we go. Yeah, it's been getting warm outside, and usually my mood is determined by the weather pretty heavily. Not fully, but I'm like, I've been a little like low on energy and kind of moody.
Really?
Despite it being sunny. We threw the Frisbee yesterday. That was fun.
We did. That was fun.
It's been a while since we've done that.
Yeah, we threw the Frisbee about maybe 6 times, and then we just left.
Yeah. No, we like going over there to brainstorm.
True. Yeah. We generally get some good brainstorming done when we do that. We did definitely more brainstorming yesterday than anything, but we came up with some pretty cool ideas for podcast episodes and such. You guys will be seeing those soon. That's going to be pretty fun times.
Yeah, we've got a lot of plans for this channel.
We do.
Some fun things. Baking a cake.
Mm-hmm. Baking a cake. That's what you guys been asking about.
Yep.
You've been wanting to see that, so.
We're actually discontinuing the podcast, and I think we're going to start leaning into baking.
Yeah, it's just going to be a baking podcast now. We just talk about baking stuff.
That would be the most boring podcast of all time.
Dude, yeah, I know. Like, when you get the right flour measurements, you just get, like, the perfect fluff on your cookies, man. Yeah. So, anyway, what's been going on with you the last week or so?
Been working a lot on this country song that we made with our roommate Cole. Y'all have yet to see that video.
I'm excited to see the video.
Yeah, I'm excited for y'all to see it. I'm excited for y'all to hear the song. The song's really good, and a genre that I have never really produced, like kind of more. I like making folk music, but I haven't made like really kind of more
modern country.
Yeah, more modern country and like pop country, because it has some. The drums are definitely kind of bring it to that pop country vibe. But yeah, Cole's voice, really good country voice, and I'm excited to drop that. I'm excited for y'all to also meet Cole and Caleb. We're planning on having a little 4-person episode soon.
A little foursome.
Yeah, we're planning. Yep. What's been up with you?
Nothing crazy. I went to the freaking urgent care for my ear, because I think I talked about that on a couple episodes ago, because I had that ear thing going on where my ear just felt like kind of weird. And then I've been trying these like ear drops or whatever, like different various varieties. And my mom had sent some like earwax removal kind of drops, which evidently there was no like earwax in my ear. When I went to the urgent care, she was like, yeah, there's no earwax in there. It's just.
Really?
Yeah. So basically she checked my stuff out. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. But I used the earwax drops and the fluid got like stuck in my ear. And before it was like kind of felt like a little bit like just full feeling, but it wasn't full on just like water in your ear, how you just can't even hear out of it.
Yeah.
This was like full on water in my ear, couldn't hear out of my ear. And I was like, all right, this is bad. And it was like that for maybe like 30 minutes, just where I had just straight up water in my ear stuck in there. And I was trying everything. I was trying to like suction it out, and I was trying to like steam and like pull on my eardrum or earlobe or whatever. And like nothing was working. Nothing was getting the water out. And I was like, okay, I am just going to have to bite the bullet, and paid freaking $90 for the lady to essentially tell me, yeah, you need to take allergy medication, nasal allergy spray, and she prescribed me like a steroid for 5 days to take. And apparently what that's supposed to do, because she said that I have fluid trapped behind my eardrum, and apparently what it's supposed to do is there's a thing that like is able to drain the fluid from your ear into your like nose and throat, because your ear, nose, and throat are all like connected. And that thing in my ear is collapsed. And she said sometimes that just happens from like changes in pressure or like whatever. It can happen from just random shit. And she said that the steroid and all that kind of stuff should help to like get that working again.
Yeah.
And definitely it feels better from when it was the other day. Like I had just straight up water like just in my ear. It wasn't even water. It was like the fluid, the drops that I put in there, but it was just trapped in my ear and I couldn't hear anything. So I can hear again now, and it's kind of getting back to normal, thankfully. Like, I mean, knock on wood, but it seems like it is working somewhat. So that's good news. But paying freaking $90 for her to tell me to take allergy medication and then have to actually go and buy the allergy medication too is just annoying. But yeah, whatever, kind of BS. But that's what I've been going through. And that's been just an ongoing thing for a while that I've had this ear thing.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it should be cleared up soon. That'll be nice. But yeah, other than that, nothing really too crazy and wild going on.
We rely on these suckers a lot, dude.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Well, that's the thing. Like, even the thing that I was going through before, where it was kind of like a slight, like, muffled sound and just like a little bit, like, just weird. Like, it felt like kind of amplified in this ear.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about how, like, probably the majority of people wouldn't even really care. Like, it wouldn't even be a big deal to them. Because I could still listen to music and have headphones on and everything, and it was fine. It was just, like, a little bit of pressure. But because we use our hearing for legitimately everything 24/7, it makes such a bigger impact. And it's kind of like, it puts into perspective, like, wow, you definitely need to take care of your hearing and stuff. And also, like, that's a big thing for anybody who's a musician, like, you obviously don't want to be the guy who's, like, out at the, club or, like, bars or whatever, like, going to a concert and you got, like, earplugs in, but, like, be that guy, because you need your ears.
Exactly.
So, there's different discrete kind of, like, ear, like, plug things you can get. And honestly, that's probably the play doing that.
Yeah. That made me remember going out on Saturday for Cole.
Yeah, my ears were ringing a little bit after that.
Yeah, the next day it was kind of, my hearing wasn't fully there.
Yeah, that was a fun time, though.
That was a good time.
I had a lot of fun. It was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Got some pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Went to the bars.
Mm-hmm.
Danced.
We danced quite a bit.
We danced the night
Not together.
away.
We didn't dance.
We held hands. There was a lot of romantic music. For
we slow danced.
St. Patty's.
We slow danced for the St. Patrick's Day celebration at the bars. Yeah, no. It was fun though. I had never been to the Jones Assembly to like.
Yeah, you went for Greg's concert.
Yeah, the Greg concert was a lot of
first name
fun.
basis.
Yeah, we just know him personally, so we call him that. He's 53. Isn't that crazy?
That makes sense.
It just does make sense, but he seems younger.
Yeah,
which I guess that's a compliment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's his skincare routine?
Yeah.
Gotta figure that out.
Could ask him.
He probably he doesn't get food from Walmart because he has a farm.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine his diet's very clean.
Most of it. Dude, I've been getting so much just like people walking around the grocery store and like pointing stuff out in the ingredients and like telling you how to eat healthier.
Yeah.
And the more content I watch, the more I'm just like, well, I can't eat anything now.
Yeah. I mean, you can't eat anything unless it's just like a single, like it's like a piece of broccoli,
Yeah. That you grew in your backyard.
But even then it has like pesticides and shit sprayed all over it. So
dude,
like
funniest thing as well is
none of our food is safe.
No. And I've been getting a bunch of that content, and then I see a clip from some random podcast, and they say, so if you go to the farmer's market and you get a farm fresh egg and it's pasture raised and it has a bunch of acres to walk, not acres, but imagine a few chickens with an acre.
Yeah. The land is just for the chickens.
But she's like, you get all that and you bring it home, and you're telling me that if you cook it on a regular like stove, then it doesn't even matter. And the dude's like, yeah, basically, if you're using any of the normal stoveware or whatever.
Oh, then, like Teflon.
Yeah,
shit.
you're getting all the chemicals from that.
That is very true. I think also like there's certain things where definitely all of those like normal cookware appliances and stuff have like just cancer causing ingredients and stuff in them. But like certain things definitely, like for me, I never wash my rice off, like, because I just can't be bothered to like wash the rice and put it in the thing. And also like you're boiling it anyways, so like it should get some of that stuff off. But also like there's so many people that are so worried about like, you got to wash your rice or you got to like wash your chicken or do this thing or that thing. It's like, bro, I'm eating healthier than like 95%.
Yeah,
I'm not out here eating Oreos and shit like that. So like the things that you should be worried about when you actually are on like a good track eating healthy is probably nothing. Like,
well, it's also like you and I don't have the budget whatsoever to be caring that much about all these things, because it just gets more and more expensive the more you kind of dive into having a healthier lifestyle. Right. Like I just saw a video of some dude talking about water, and he was like, tap water obviously bad because it has all these metals and stuff. But,
and they want you to buy like the fucking glass bottles of water. It's like, dude, I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, well, no, he was saying he like opened up the bottom of his sink, and he's like, so I've got reverse osmosis system that's $30,000, and then he proceeds to say like Brita filters, they're not getting many of these chemicals out.
Yeah.
So I also have this other system, and he goes out to his backyard, and there's this huge thing. And I'm like, you are a millionaire, and you're telling all of us that we can't drink tap water. But I mean, like, it is true. You know, tap water definitely isn't good for you.
Yeah.
And it has all these awful chemicals, but there's really only so much you can do. And also, the more you stress about all these things and putting into place, now that's lowering your life expectancy.
Exactly. That's the point that I was going to make too, is that the most harmful thing that you can do is be stressed about literally anything.
Exactly.
Because if you're freaking out and panicking about like, oh, I got the glyphosate's in my oatmeal and shit like that, it's like, dude, just fucking eat the oatmeal and stop worrying about it so much, because stress can actually physically cause you to get sick. It can cause so many other negative health effects. And like, if you just kind of live a carefree life, you're going to live a lot longer than anybody who's like so worried about all this shit.
Exactly.
And also the thing is too, like that guy, what is his name? Like Brian Johnson, or like the vampire dude. It's like, dude, I would not want to live like that. That just looks miserable. It's like, wake up at 5 a.m. and, you know, do my infrared sauna and like dip my face in cold ice cubes and like, dude, what the? He's like locking himself into like electrodes and like all this other weird shit. It's like, dude, I think I'm okay. Like, I think I'm just going to eat my chicken and rice and kind of exercise a couple times a week, and I think I'll be all right.
I hook up to my audio system and I hear blood-curdling screams of death, so I stay away from death, and I will live forever.
I drink the adrenochrome from the newborn babies that I've sacrificed to stay young and youthful.
I will say some of his videos are helpful, because he does a bunch of research. He basically says, I want to be like a human sacrifice for trying to figure out how long a human can live and being the most healthy. Yeah. But at the same time, I do not want his life whatsoever.
Dude, imagine that guy dies at like 85 from just natural causes.
That would or any of the other things that aren't natural causes. Because like, you can...
He dies in a fucking car crash.
That's what I'm saying, dude. You can do all this, and then sometimes life will just say, hey, I'm going to take you now.
That's this thing that's such a valid point, man. It's like, tomorrow is never guaranteed for anybody at all. Like, you could literally just have like a brain aneurysm and die randomly. And the fact that we're stressing about like all these like minute little things that like, dude, if you were on your deathbed, 95% of the things that you've ever worried about would mean nothing to you at that point in time. So just live life as if, you know, it's the last day you have.
Yeah. Do everything you can do, because it not only will it improve your lifestyle moving forward, but it also will just make you feel better. So like, eat as healthy as you can with the budget that you have, with the time that you have, but don't stress about it so much.
I mean, dude, eat clean, exercise, get enough sleep, drink enough water, be happy. Surround yourself with good people. That's like all of the entire fitness and health industry could be completely put out of business, but I just like if everybody preached that message.
Exactly.
Because like that is literally what everything boils down to. So yeah, do that stuff.
So do that stuff.
Do that stuff, man. Pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Haven't you guys thought of that before?
Did you see Serum 2 dropped?
I did see that, yeah.
I'm not a big Serum guy. You've dabbled in some Serum.
I like Serum. Serum's cool. There's a guy that I follow on TikTok. I think he follows me back, actually. His name is like NEST Acoustics or something. Pretty cool dude.
Oh, yeah. That guy's sick.
Yeah. He's pretty chill. He has some presets in Serum too. Like, he made some presets for it, which I thought was pretty cool.
He makes really good content.
Yeah. He makes like very, very in-depth, like crazy sound design.
And he's making banks. I saw he recently dropped a full plugin.
That's sick.
So, but yeah, his videos are awesome. He always starts a video off with, "Guys, I just did the most insane thing ever.
I discovered the craziest feature in Serum." Yeah, he's a cool dude.
He is a cool dude. We know him.
We know him personally.
Yeah.
He follows me, so that's cool. I think he's on something.
He follows you?
I think he follows me on TikTok, which is probably most likely where
he follows you, but he came over yesterday and hung out with me, so.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
So, like, I don't really care about the internet stuff. I'm more like, because I value that more if we're actual real life friends.
Yeah.
But
no, I don't even care. I actually don't even care.
No, yeah, you can be internet friends with him.
It's actually not even a big deal. Like, it's not, like, whatever. It's cool.
I brought it up to him yesterday. I said, "Hey, would you ever want to hang out with Felix?"
Yeah.
And then he proceeded to say, "Who's that?" So I had to give him a rundown.
You guys are both just laying in your bed. He has his feet kicking up in the air. You're feeding him grapes. The fact of the matter is that guy might actually see this shit.
This is so funny.
This isn't like not talking about Drake here. We're talking about like a guy who's just like similar vein on the internet as us.
Yeah. Everyone
we
tag
just do
him.
that with fucking everyone. We just put everybody in like bizarre situations. We're gonna get fucking blocked, man.
No, you're getting unfollowed for sure. This guy is unfollowing you.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
that's so funny.
I got 10K on TikTok, which is pretty epic.
That is really cool.
Actually, TikTok is the one platform that I just don't care about at all.
Yeah.
So. Pretty neat though. I heard that once you get 10K, you can join the creator fund or whatever, but didn't see that anywhere. So maybe it's a scam.
It's a big scam. I heard even the creator fund is you get like 1 cent.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. So, yep.
TikTok is out of all the apps that I use because I don't make like in-depth videos like you do. I just promote my music on there. That's all I do. But TikTok is easily the highest yield out of all the apps. Instagram and YouTube, I get barely any views when I post the exact same video.
Yeah, it's interesting. The internet's a crazy place, man.
It is a crazy place.
That's why I'm moving over to Xiaohongshu. I'm gonna put all my content on Xiaohongshu and delete it from everywhere.
Dude, the more you talk about Xiaohongshu, the more likely they're gonna hit you up. Because you mentioned it I think you've mentioned it in the past like 4
Several
episodes.
times.
Yeah, every time.
I'm gonna get that Xiaohongshu sponsorship soon, man.
You should definitely make an account, and I'll put it in the description.
I would actually. That'd be so fun.
Everyone go follow
me at Xiaohongshu.
Xiaohongshu.
That's the main platform I'm pushing right now.
I mean, you got to break in, dude. I'm at like
somebody's got to be the top of
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
getting in early on Vine, and now.
Yeah.
The crazy thing to think about is that all of the OG Viners are basically the biggest internet celebrities right now.
Yeah, they're like basically like actual celebrities.
Yeah.
Which a lot of them actually act in movies and stuff too. Like King
That's what I'm
Batch and
saying.
all them. They've been in movies.
Yeah,
properly,
the Paul brothers.
Yeah, those are like actually like A-list internet celebrities.
Exactly.
Pretty insane. So yeah, maybe that's the wave. Xiaohongshu, hopping on there.
Did you ever make any Vines?
I did, yeah. I made
Vines too.
little like trick shot vines and
Yeah.
like, random ass stuff like that.
I would make like funny videos with my friends.
I remember making some funny videos too. I remember doing like funny stuff and also like I did a lot of the trick shots because I was like, dude, I'm gonna be like a trick shot viner, which is crazy to think about at this point in time. But yeah, I remember doing that.
Filming with your iPad.
Yeah, it wasn't even an iPad. It was like one of those like Samsung tablets, and the quality was like the worst shit you ever seen. It was so funny. I actually have an old video. It's probably privated on YouTube, but it's like a Vine compilation, and I just downloaded all my Vines that I uploaded to Vine, and I just put them as like a compilation of video on YouTube. It's like maybe 40 seconds long, and all of the beat drops are all like off time for somehow. I don't know how that happened, but they're all off time. So like I'll make the thing, and it's like moment of silence for the champions, and the beat drops like 4 seconds after I make this shot.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty hilarious.
I remember those videos, man. You just brought me back. Vine compilation videos.
Yeah, I would like sit there on YouTube and watch Vine compilations. Yeah, which they're still around, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy how the internet has changed and developed over time. I remember my first internet experience was making a Facebook account when I was like 8 years old to play Farmville with my mom.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I remember I was going crazy on Farmville. Now those are some great times playing the old Facebook games. I remember when Facebook had tons of games.
Facebook had games?
Yeah,
really.
That was like way back in the day. I was legitimately, I think, 8 years old, 8 or 9. And I had a Facebook way before any of my friends did. And they were like, dude, do you have a Facebook account? And I was like, yeah, I'm cool as fuck.
I think my first internet experience was cool math games at school.
Yeah, I definitely dabbled with that too. I think Pop Tropica was bigger for me. We've talked about that though.
We spent 40 minutes on that last episode.
Ranted for a straight up hour about video games.
Yeah, we're not big video game people.
Yeah, no, I don't really
40
ever play video games. Yeah, I just have for the last like 15 years of my life. No, yeah, so I think that's the majority of the stuff that we've had going on. I'm trying to think of anything else.
How's the album doing? Stream-wise?
Pretty.
Are you...
I mean, not like crazy or anything, but each of the songs...
More or less than you were expecting?
I don't know. I wasn't really expecting anything in particular. I would say more, maybe.
That's nice.
I mean, I could check it. Dude,
let's see them stats.
The Spotify for Artists app is unbelievably bad. It's so bad. Like
I don't mind it.
It's so unbelievably bad. Have you seen the ratings for it?
No.
It's like a 2-star rating on the
really?
App Store. Yeah, it's because it crashes every time. When you open the app, it doesn't show you like the updated stats of everybody who's listening, and then you have to open it again. You have to close it, open it again, and then when you open it again, it crashes, and then you have to click on it again, and then it'll show you the accurate.
Mine
numbers.
doesn't do that. I think it's much better than Apple's.
Apple sucks also, but the Spotify one. Listen, I'm not the only. I didn't just make this shit up because there's a bajillion horrible reviews.
Yeah, I can see that. But at the same time, imagine how many people they have to deal with.
Oh yeah,
there are actually hundreds of thousands of songs being uploaded every day.
Yeah.
So they've got their work cut out for them.
Yeah. Just make a better fucking app though. It's not that hard.
They're making a lot of money.
They are making a lot of money, and they don't really give a shit because we're not making any money. But yeah, I mean, all the songs have pretty much gotten like around 100 streams, which is cool. Couple playlists, some of the songs are on, so pretty neato. The stats are kind of thrown off a little bit, like when you view them, because 2 of the songs are singles. So like August Rain already had like 7,000 plays or something.
7K?
Or like, well, it has like 6K. Or it had 6K before the album came out, and now it has like I think 6.5 or something like that. And then Hiatus has like a little over 1,000. So yeah, pretty cool. Just over time they'll get some more views and stuff. But I don't really care about that as much. I'm glad that the documentary video is doing pretty decently. Yeah. That's a 1 out of 10 for me, so that's cool.
That is huge.
And just I've seen all the comments that everybody left on there that like I inspired them to kind of do their own like album and all that kind of stuff. It's just really awesome to see. It's cool to just know that like other people are seeing your content and like feeling not so like alone in what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly kind of what I look for when I look at other people's content. Is like this guy's just like me kind of thing, you know. And it's cool to know that like I'm giving somebody else that feeling out there too. So
exactly, which
neat,
is just more of a encourager to drop videos that are just being real.
Yeah,
I mean, I always think that my video has to be this big, grandiose kind of video of making a song and then dropping the song. And I talk about this all the time, but like I could easily just pull up my iPhone and film something and talk about what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
And that would be a really cool video. But for some reason, something's just holding me back from that.
Yeah.
When I dropped my Keep Going video, those were the best comments that I've ever received in a YouTube video, and like the most encouraged I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Because I felt that I had made a piece of art that really resonated with people and like helped people, other than just teaching them how to produce in a certain style or do X and Y and Z.
Yeah, because there's a difference between like being able to reach people like mentally and teach them something and like kind of inspire them or whatever, but there's a difference between that and kind of touching somebody, reaching somebody like emotionally, you know, and reaching them like to the heart. And I think when you affect somebody in that way, it means a lot more, and it's a lot more impactful than like just being able
so
to
much
teach.
more important than views. But we live in such a
like numbers society.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's cool to be able to make videos and have people see them.
But it's also really cool that y'all all have the power, no matter how many followers you have, to make a piece of art that does the same. Yeah. And it's sometimes even more powerful when I find an artist that has sub 100 monthly listeners. I don't find a lot of them, but if I were to find an artist like that made music that really resonated with me, I would be like, it would really touch me in a way more than a huge artist making like a huge millionaire making a song that he's trying to be relatable.
Exactly. And I think honestly the main thing that you have to do is just stay true to what is meaningful to you. You know, because if you just do what is impactful to you, it's going to impact other people as well. And as long as you stay authentic, that's going to be the most important thing. And like you said, kind of going back to the YouTube thing, it is funny how for the longest time I was just making videos on my phone camera, and I was like, dude, I have to get a real camera because I can't make YouTube videos on my phone. And like now I'm just using like a old camcorder from like 20 years ago. Yeah. Like the majority of the footage from that video, that is a 1 out of 10 for me. It's like doing fairly well. Was just all like shitty camcorder footage. And the fact that people will watch that is pretty unreal. And it just goes to show that like you don't need the nicest camera. You don't need the nicest audio. That's just straight out of the camera audio for all that. And as long as you are making something that really resonates with people and something that's able to inspire people, that's the main thing. Like none of the technicalities and all that shit really matter, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, hopped into Park Rangers for the first time in a minute.
We did, yeah. We wrote like 1.5 Park Rangers songs.
I think we wrote 3. I was going through the footage, or I was going through the videos on my phone where I saved melodies. It might have been 1.5.
I think it was 1.5 because we had Or no, we started that other one, but we couldn't think of really anything for it.
Well, the last one we made was my favorite. And that one we only did a verse, I believe.
Yeah.
But we made 2 other songs before that.
The first one, I don't think we wrote anything down for. I don't think we had any lyrics. We were like trying to get something for it. I wrote a guitar thing for it, and that was cool. And then we came up with that other thing, which that we wrote a full song for.
Yeah.
And then the other one we wrote like half of a verse for, which is cool.
It felt weird being back in the saddle.
Yeah.
I haven't written in a while or sang in a while, so it felt...
it'll take some time getting more used to it and stuff.
Totally.
But it's fun. Definitely want to get like producing some stuff too pretty soon. But also, I feel like it's also good to just write as much as possible and just get like a billion songs so that we can kind of narrow it down and see what we want to put out.
It just sucks that it takes so long for us to make a song. Not even because we take a long time and the blame is on us, more so that it's just we have to do everything ourselves, which I want to do everything ourselves because that's what gives our sound. But we're writing at a pace that we can't keep up with production and mixing and mastering wise. We have so many songs that we've written for Park Rangers that hopefully we'll get to a point where we can just go to a studio and start making all these with a team of people that we trust. But right now we're really just picking songs that we love and then making those out of this collection of songs that we've written, which I think most bands do. So we're not alone in this process.
No, exactly. And I think that's honestly, I don't really have a problem with that because the more that we just kind of make more songs and figure out like, okay, this one I really like, this one I really don't like, we'll just kind of produce more and then we'll just be like, okay, this one's good. We're not going to put on an album or anything. So we'll just figure it out as we go along. And I think it's cool to just, I mean, it's also a good practice to just jam in general. Like that'll just make you better at guitar, better at singing, better at whatever. So,
Totally.
Yeah, it's cool. Park Rangers stuff coming soon. I'm excited for that.
Park Rangers on the way. That's a big goal for 2025. That's the year we're in right now.
It is. Which is pretty crazy. We're a quarter of the way through the century. Wow. Pretty nuts, though. You think you're making it to 2100?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think I am either.
Probably not.
I would be 99 or something.
I'd be 100.
That's pretty old.
Hitting 100 would be fun.
Maybe if I moved to somewhere in Asia, maybe like Japan. If I moved to Japan, I think that I would maybe live to 100 because they live a pretty long time over there.
They do.
I think the environment that you live in plays a big role on like.
I think most places other than America,
Yeah.
life expectancy is a bit longer.
Yeah, it's because they put cancer and shit that turns the frogs gay and all of our food. So
All the frogs are gay in America.
yeah, all these gay frogs are making their life expectancy go down. So pretty unfortunate.
Let's get Alex Jones on the next Sound Lodge podcast.
Alex Jones Sound Lodge episode.
He's our first guest.
Yeah, that would be wild, man.
Dude, the Slodgers would have so many questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, how did you get this guy
How the
on
fuck
your
did you pull him? Yeah.
I feel like I'm running in quicksand with all these projects I'm working on,
Yeah,
which sucks.
I feel you. Do you so when you with your workflow, do you kind of like go back and forth between projects?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like when I have that vibe going on, I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with me at least, if I'm working like a bunch on different things, I'm not making any real progress on one particular thing. And so I always like try to like stop myself and be like, all right, I'm just going to prioritize like what I want to get out in what order and then just focus solely on that. Because also if I'm like focused on this song and this song and this song, there's going to be like overlap to where they kind of all just end up sounding the same. Like I end up doing a lot of the same things because I'm like conflating them all in my head. So like if I'm able to just like one by one do them, I'm able to kind of more like focus in, like hyper focus on a particular
No, I
thing.
totally agree. But at the same time, with the things I'm doing, like I kind of have to do it because let's say for the video that we did with Cole, he's coming over soon and I want to show him the final song.
Yeah.
So I need to finish that song, but that's actually not going to be my next video. My next video is going to be the video where you and I made together when we made a song just with no expectations.
Yeah.
So I've also been having to hop into that one as well as the country song.
Yeah.
Because I need to finish the country song to show Cole, but I also need to finish the song because I want to upload it. So when I upload that video, there will be a song on Spotify. But recently, the past 2 days, I've had to work on the Share the Stars lyric video,
Right.
because that song's dropping on Friday.
Right.
So it's just so many different things that I actually have to do in kind of this weird like puzzle process.
Right.
But the thing is I am making progress on all these things.
Right.
It's just the videos are like, my videos are getting longer, which I'm thankful for. I think I'm focusing less on, what's up, YouTube? This is why you want to watch the video. Okay, now I'm doing this. Okay, now I'm doing this. And more of just capturing a vibe, which I think it resonates really well with the audience that I want to cultivate.
Right.
So I'm going to keep doing that, but I think the process is just a little bit longer. I might just move to my phone, just start filming with my phone. Yeah. Because there's so many YouTubers that I watch that just film with their phones, and I don't have a problem with it, but for some reason I have such a adherence to any iPhone footage.
To be fair, I always see it and I'm like, that's an iPhone shot.
Yeah.
Right there. And it always kind of bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you fully are like a YouTuber with 7 million subscribers. Like, you should be using a camera.
Yeah.
So I personally would never do it, like, unless it's like a specific shot where I need to capture this particular moment and I don't have any other camera with me.
Exactly. Yeah, you had to do that in your documentary.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, that was probably the first phone footage I've used in years. But every once in a while, you got to put a little phone footage in there. But I feel like doing it like the majority, it just is a little bit of a weird vibe for me. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, also, like, I think YouTube is kind of promoting or pushing longer form videos now too. And I noticed that on my last video, because it was longer, there was a little stat thing from YouTube that popped up that was like, views are up 90%. Like, viewers are choosing to watch this video longer than others. And so just like the average view time compared to the other videos is going to be longer just because it's a longer video. So I think for that reason, YouTube shows it to more people because it's in comparison to your other videos, people are watching it for longer, which is like interesting. So that's really like, when it comes down to the whole retention thing, like, that's pretty valid, like with the whole Mr. Beastie kind of vibe. Like, if people are clicking on your videos and actually watching them, like, that's the most important thing. And so if you're able to get people to click and then keep them watching, and whether you do that with like the "what's up guys, we're gonna blow up a car now" kind of thing, or if you like have just some sort of valuable information to give people so that they watch for a while, that's kind of like a thing that YouTube cares about. I don't know though. I just be making videos. I honestly, like, I do not just sit there and think like, oh, my retention's got to be good for this one, and I got to make sure that I like captivate their attention in the first 5 seconds, and blah blah blah. Like, I used to care more about that, but like now it's just whatever, dude. Just make the videos.
I used to do that, but that was more so when I think YouTube was the pillar, the thing that I looked to most, and I wanted to build the most. But now it's music, and YouTube is kind of becoming secondary. But I also love it so much. Like, YouTube's one of my favorite things, really, ever. Like, it's been such a big thing in my life, even before I made videos. But I'm valuing the music I'm making more.
Yeah.
Than
YouTube is kind of more like a vehicle to promote the music at this point than like its own thing, which I kind of enjoy it for both reasons. Like, I enjoy just making videos, but like also I enjoy making some videos, and some videos I enjoy making less than others, because if it's like a video where I don't have to really get super creative with it, I notice I'm not as invested. Like, I like the videos where I have to set up cool shots and I have to like be creative with it and like do something new and innovative. That's the kind of stuff that I like doing, because that just really gets me like super passionate and like makes me want to work on a project. But if it's just like me sit down and talk to the camera, like, I'm not as gung-ho about those kind of videos.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's so many fun little pockets of inspiration and just, wow, I love doing this. This is my favorite thing ever, is making videos. And this has turned into such a cool video, but they're few and far between. Most of it's just powering through some sludge.
Yeah, exactly.
Some slodge.
Powering through the slodge.
Some sludge.
Yeah.
Just listened to Rick Beato on Tetragrammaton. So Rick Beato, Rick Rubin.
I saw that. He was on there.
Had a conversation. It's really good. A lot more respect I have for Rick Beato now.
Really?
Because I used to think he was like a big theory guy, and he just took everything super theory serious. Whenever he'd heard a pop song, he'd be like, oh, this is typical 1-5-4, and now we're doing all this.
The chord progression's not very interesting. And
yeah, exactly. But he actually, when he learned all of his instruments, before he learned any theory, he played everything by ear. And also just his whole story of coming up with music was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He gets a lot of shit on the internet for like being like old man yells at cloud kind of guy.
Yeah, but I resonate with a lot of his opinions about pop music.
Like, I think people kind of hate on him a lot, but he's kind of right in a lot of scenarios.
I agree.
But yeah, he's a cool dude. That's dope. I definitely saw a clip or two from that, and I wanted to watch it, but it's just a lot to commit to.
It's a good episode. Man, Rick Rubin asks the best questions ever.
He's the best, man.
Which makes sense on why he's such a good producer when he doesn't know how to do anything, because that's probably all he's doing is asking the artists just the best questions ever and really like walking them hand in hand to where he thinks the album should go.
Yeah, he's just born to be an interviewer.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sick.
But question I had was, so Rick Beato played very complicated classical music to his firstborn son, I think around the 9-month mark, or it was before leading up to the 9-month mark. But he said that there's some like research where when you're young, you still have all these syntaxes to where you can take in a bunch of high information knowledge or high information. Like if you have them listen to Mandarin or another language, then they can, it's easier for them to learn those languages. So he thinks that he taught his son perfect pitch because he did that. Yeah. So I had the question of, let's say you have a son, are you going to want to teach them perfect pitch? Because I don't know if I want my son to have perfect pitch, because I think some perfect pitch will hinder you in creative aspects.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have 2 sons and I'll teach one of them perfect pitch and one of them not.
I think that's what Rick did.
Test it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a straight up human experiment. That's hilarious. I would probably do that. I think that's maybe the play. Just to see. Test it out. I think
along with other multitude of science experience.
Yeah. I would just experiment on my children, just random stuff. Yeah, no, I knew that though, that you can basically teach your kids perfect pitch up until the age of like 2, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Like, that's when they stop being able to kind of like understand perfect pitch. I think it's 2, maybe it's a little bit older, but it's around 2.
Yeah.
And you can basically teach it to them because obviously they can learn all the notes and everything, but you have to give it like names. And I remember the way that Rick Beato taught his kid was like, this is the Star Wars note. Like it would start off like da 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 da, and then like da would be like the note from that song. And so he would teach him with like association. And then later on, once he knows the association, he would teach him the actual notes.
Exactly.
So it's still like, it's like learning a language. Like you can learn to speak a language, but not necessarily understand what you're saying or like what the like writing is and everything. But like then you have to attribute it to actual like nomenclature and stuff. But yeah, it's tough because I feel like it would be a good skill to have, but like you said, there's in some aspects it can kind of hinder you.
Yeah.
But then also you look at like Charlie Puth and like he makes great music and he has perfect pitch. So it's like it also, like anything, it comes down to the individual. So
yeah.
Also, I don't know, maybe my kid doesn't want to make music. Like my kid wants to do something else.
Exactly. Well, he said that his son was never really interested in music until 17.
Yeah.
When he wanted to pick up a guitar.
Yeah, well that's the funny thing is like even myself, like I wasn't like 10 years old being like I want to make music, you know. I was 10 years old being like I want to play basketball and like, I want to play football. And then probably once I got into like making beats around like, 15, I like heard rap music, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And so it takes a while, and I feel like honestly that's normal. Like the way that the school system makes you think is like, you got to have everything figured out by the time you're 18 and you got to have your whole career path laid out in front of you. But then even when you get into college, you can change your majors and you can change your classes. You can change all that stuff. Like it's normal to still be figuring out what you want to do. And it's normal to figure out what you want to do even after you graduate from college, or maybe you don't go to college or whatever. Like you might take your whole life to figure out what you want to do. And like, as long as you're just following what is interesting and what feels fulfilling to you, that's the most important thing. Like you don't have to be as psychotic as us and be like, this is exactly what we want to do. From like the age of 16, we know exactly what we want to do.
I mean, it's such a blessing that's unheard of.
Totally.
That we were so passionate about it.
I've never had like a question in my mind about like what I wanted to do. Like I want to do something with music or something with YouTube. But, like there was never like, oh, maybe I want to, go into like architecture or something. Like it's, I was going to say law, but Eric was like, dude, every time you mention being a lawyer makes me want to kill myself.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's never been another question for me of like what I wanted to do. So I'm glad that I have had that certainty for my whole life, but also know that it's totally, completely normal to not know what you want to do and be just trying to figure it out. I think it's also important too try to figure that out. Try to figure out what you want to do and try new things and experiment and just like try everything. But yeah, that's a tough question. I think
Perfect pitch.
I think
I'd
teach him.
I'd appreciate perfect pitch. I'm definitely
Totally.
gonna be playing my children so much music before they can even talk.
100%.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be playing a bunch of Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Owl
the
Nation.
world around the world.
Sail.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Dude, my kids are gonna be listening to so much music, like an unbelievable.
So much
amount of
EDM.
music.
It's unheard of.
My kids are gonna be ravers at age 4.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Kids are awesome, man.
We support kids.
We support kids over here.
Yep.
This is a kid-friendly podcast. Actually, this is totally not a kid-friendly podcast.
This is not, dude. Dude, I'm having to think. I think the audience might help us here, but there's a thing where you can tick 18 and up or explicit content on the podcast, and I've never done that, but we might have to start doing that. I don't know. 18 and up is definitely not. We're definitely not 18 and up.
No,
but I think we might be explicit.
No, I think the YouTube guideline is that within the first like 5 to 10 minutes, if you're saying like if you're dropping F-bombs or whatever, then it's like you have to mark it as explicit. And I think it might even be sooner than that. I think it's like the first maybe 30 seconds to a minute. But if it's before that, like you'll get flagged for it.
Yeah.
But after that, I think you're fine because no like 10-year-old is watching this far into a long form podcast. So I think they kind of
That is a good
get
point.
it.
That is a good point. Yeah. What you been listening to?
What I've been listening to, I actually got some now that I'm not working on my album. I got
True. You've been listening to music now.
Yeah, pretty epic. The first one, I've been listening to a bunch of Fog Lake because his music's so good. I've been listening to just like his whole discography and everything. Another one that I really like that I discovered is German Error Message. You ever heard of German Error Message?
That's a wild name.
It is. Pretty cool, though. Makes good music. He has been making music for a while, since I think like 2014. His 2014 album, whatever thing, where he's holding a pumpkin. It's like Halloween. He's holding a pumpkin. It's kind of blurry picture. That one's really good. I've been listening to that.
How'd you find him?
I found him, basically, I have a playlist that's like Fog Lake kind of vibe. And it was like, you know how they give you some suggestions at the bottom to like songs to add? Sometimes I'll just go through and listen to those songs.
Spotify is good at recommending music. It is really good.
Yeah, they match the vibe really well.
Yeah.
So I found him and a couple other artists from that. There's another one called, I think, Micah Priet, which is another really good artist, similar kind of vibe. So yeah.
These low-key artists?
Pretty low-key. There's
That's
like
sick.
around 100K monthly, 130-ish
cool.
K monthly. So pretty dope swag, money. What about you?
I've been listening to Common Pain,
Drake,
and Future. No, I recently found album of the year for me so far.
Really? I don't even know.
Fizo.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that guy.
No, his name's Martin Luke Brown.
Nice.
Dropped an album called Oh Man, I think, something like that. The production is so good. It reminds me of Heather, which is one of my favorite producers, which also reminded me of After Hours. I'm pretty sure that's their name, but Heather produced their album, and that album is so good, so I've been listening to that too. But very lo-fi sound.
It's pretty sick.
For Martin Luke Brown.
Martin Luke Brown.
I think that's really all I've been... Oh yeah, the Daniel Moodlier, who's from...
Oh, that guy, yeah.
OKC. I found him because Spotify recommended me.
That's pretty
dope,
dope,
yeah,
actually.
Spotify's really good at... I don't know how they do it, but they can recommend some good music, which
They have a
makes
great
sense.
algorithm.
Yeah.
I'll say that. All their algorithmic stuff is great.
Yeah, I mean, that's why so much music is pretty similar nowadays.
True.
Because if you're going to see way more success if you make music like most other people.
Totally. The real out-of-the-box stuff is not usually going to do well. But then also, another one that I've been listening to is Flat Sound. And Flat Sound, like, for a long time was making kind of like Fog Lake type lo-fi, depressed, sad emo vibe. And then he made an album that was just like purely ambient music, like kind of just like synth pad sounds and stuff like that, like 16-minute long tracks. And that's like his most popular album, I'm pretty sure now. So it just goes to show like yeah, you'll definitely get more plays and stuff if your stuff sounds like everybody else, or like it has like a recognizable sound. But also, just make whatever you want, man.
Yeah.
Make whatever feels real to you.
Exactly. I think there's I don't even know if there's a higher chance, but to like really, really take off, I think do something new. Like thinking of McGee.
Yeah.
He blew up out of nowhere because nobody knows how to get his sound, and that's everybody's trying to replicate his sound.
Yeah. That's his sound, and now it has become like an industry standard thing.
Exactly. But at the same time, you can also just make some pretty cookie cutter stuff and do well if you promote it well on social media.
True. Just do whatever you want, honestly.
Do whatever you want. Do whatever you need. I mean, that was a good point from Rick Beato in the podcast. He said, in the day of A&Rs, instead of Spotify and TikTok, in the day of A&Rs, to get their attention, you sometimes had to take risks.
Yeah,
and you had to have a really interesting sound for them to be like, okay, this is something new. This could really take off. So people were more likely to take risks with recording methods and all of these different things. But now, you just watch a tutorial and everybody's really making the same tutorial. And I can say that because I make tutorials and I kind of do the same thing that everybody else does. Nobody's really teaching really like a lot of new techniques. So everybody's kind of on the same footing. And it's so much easier to make music now that...
Yeah, it's accessible to literally everyone.
Yeah. The bar of entry to produce your own music is so low that instead of, writing songs by yourself in a room for 10 years... and becoming really passionate about it and playing live and doing all that stuff, and then finally getting in the studio and having this much experience, it's really, you can just start whenever. And the easiest way to start whenever is to make sounds that you're familiar with.
Yeah, very true. I mean, that's what the majority of everybody who starts out just copies everybody else that they know, which that's
probably not new though. I mean, people did that even when there weren't dolls. So
yeah, very true. It's kind of just the natural progression of making music is you copy the people who you like, and then you kind of become your own thing.
Pick up a guitar, play Stairway to Heaven. I mean, that's kind of...
Yeah. Learn the songs that you... I mean, that's how I learned guitar. It's just like I learned the songs that I liked, and then I just started using that stuff in my own music. Yeah. This is unrelated, but I'm sure you know this, but Whatever Dad, they have like other music on other profiles too.
I think I know that. I've never listened to them though.
Yeah, it's more like stripped down. Like
really?
Yeah, they have a
more stripped down than Whatever Dad.
Yeah,
that's sick.
They have another account. It's called like 100%, I think.
And
it's just straight up guitar.
It's the same
demos.
like cover arts too.
Yeah, it's the same, basically the same shit, but like without drums and without any production. And then I think they have some other account too. They have like a all Whatever Dad music, and it's like a bunch of different artists.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, no, I have noticed that. Also, Whatever Dad just drops the same song like 4 times.
Yeah.
Because whenever I make music, I usually have 3 different sounds that I rotate between. Or not really rotate between, but progress through as I'm slowly getting my sound down. But I feel like Whatever Dad just has 4 demos every time they make a song, and then they just upload all 4 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
With different names.
Which, I mean, that goes to show too, like, especially with Mac DeMarco just dropping like his entire hard drive onto Spotify. It's like, dude, just fucking do whatever you want.
Just do whatever you want. I mean, y'all ask us so much questions of how to do X, Y, and Z, and we can tell you how we do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But that's probably not the best way for you to do it. I mean, we're going to continue to do that because that's all we can do is tell you how we did it. But
yeah, I mean, I had somebody ask me the other day about like, how do I get over creative block or like beat block or whatever. And I was like, dude, what works for me is it might not work for you. Yeah. But I gave him the advice that works for me. But I'm a different person than anybody else. So my methods are not going to be applicable to you all the time.
I think my viewpoint has changed so much since moving here. Because also just my workflow and my skill level and the way I make songs is a lot different than when I lived in Nashville and before I moved to Nashville. Right. So I'm getting more perspectives on the different ways I make YouTube videos and music. Yeah. To where it's actually instead of getting easier because I'm getting more experience, it's getting harder answering these questions. Yeah. Because I'm realizing it becomes
more nuanced, I think.
Exactly.
You realize how much more that goes into it than just being like, yeah, this is what works, Yeah. Because then you're like, well, now that I've experienced this works and this works and this works. And like sometimes it'll be a different thing depending on how I'm feeling. And so like I just can't answer like straight up, yeah, this is what's going to work for you. This is what you should do. But also I think you could very well just do that and people be like, okay, cool, that's fine. And then like it might work for them. But
yeah, exactly.
The thing is, it's good to preface like, there is no like black and white. Like I think anybody on the internet who is telling you like it's either this or it's this, generally they're wrong. You know, like generally that person you should not be paying attention to. So I think that's how life is. Like there's always nuance to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's never just one thing or the other.
Yeah, man, moving to this house has really just leveled me up as not only as a creator and as a creative, but also as a human. Like I feel like I've become more of a well-rounded human living here, like getting more experiences and stuff. And it's just been a total blessing having the four of us here. It's sad that Cole's moving. I'm really hoping that we can get a podcast with him and Caleb.
Yeah, me
do
too.
A whole 4 roommate episode, talk about living here. But it's been,
I agree. We're gonna need to figure out the microphone situation for that.
Yeah,
you can probably just plug straight into your thing.
Someone will have to use that little pencil.
Yeah, I can also grab my M201. That's dynamic too.
Yeah,
It's
that'd be
good for
nice.
mics. They're good for vocals.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be a fun episode.
Uh-huh.
Also, just for like a time capsule kind of thing.
Totally.
We need to figure out a better camera angle because they can't really just like sit in our laps here.
They could. We might have to move to a
They just sit
room.
on the floor.
That'd be fun if we go back to the OG spot.
Yeah, make it impossible to see us.
That was such a bad.
Yeah.
The OG first episode videos.
Well, I think the thing is, we were doing the podcast just because we were like, want to just have us talking.
Exactly.
So we weren't really worried about like trying to make it good quality.
Yeah.
I think I was definitely like, I don't care about the quality at all. Like, as long as it's, a podcast, it's fine. But then eventually we're like, all right, well, we are putting time and effort in the podcast. We want it to do well. So we might as well just like make it a cool set as well.
Yeah.
Here's the phone.
And that's the end of the episode, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. That's the Slodge podcast.
So annoyed with the day that one minor inconvenience just throws me off.
Dude, that's like when you've had a bad day and you drop your keys and you're like, that's it, man. I'm blowing up the whole house.
I'm not going to work anymore.
Yeah. Quit my job.
All right. As y'all know, we answer y'all's questions on these podcasts. And guys, we need more questions.
Yeah, ask some more questions, guys. Ask some not weird questions, please.
I like the weird ones.
Yeah, no, I like the weird ones, but like some of them.
there's some ones that I just look at and I'm like, interesting. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing.
That's a question. Yeah, that's
shoot or shoot. I mean, just keep sending them in.
Ask whatever questions you want, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's some of them that we might never get to, but at the same time, I kind of just want to answer every question that's been asked. So even if it's just a little 10-second thing. So literally ask whatever is on your mind.
Whatever you're thinking about.
But yeah, we do need more questions. So go to Discord, go over to the Ask Us Questions channel, and send us questions in there. Also, could you please, I don't think we have any YouTube video recommendations, but we also haven't dropped a YouTube video. That's not a podcast. So once we start doing that, which that's going to be coming soon, very exciting. We talked about that last episode, doing a tier list for the music, and that has been done. I don't know when we're going to drop that, but stay tuned for that. So once y'all know that we're going to be doing YouTube videos, start going to that channel, YouTube video idea channel, and send us, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to try to make bombs together?
Yeah.
See who's successful.
How to make a pipe bomb tutorial. Sound large.
And then to test it, whoever gets through TSA wins.
Yeah. Whoever can get to the airport with the pipe bomb wins.
All right. We're going to be kicking this off from Svet, guys. And as y'all know, we have a little Redder. We have a little system where you can react to comments with an emoji, and it tells us how popular it is.
It's kind of like a Redditor system.
And this one has 3 fire symbols, 3 fire emojis, which means it's a very popular question. So a lot of Slodgers want to hear this. And the question is, how long do you guys say you'd spend average on a beat or a vol song?
A little while. A little bit. Spend a little bit on it.
Yeah, spend a little bit.
Yeah, just some period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
It usually takes me between 3 hours to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 hours to 3 years. Anywhere around there.
Yeah. Honestly, it's taken me like 23 years to make any of this stuff, so it's taken me my whole life.
That's what Sved's asking us?
Yeah, he's asking. How long has everything that has ever happened to you in your life culminated for you to be able to make the music that you make now? How long do I usually spend on a particular song? Like just pure working time, just like straight up continuously working on it. I would say probably like if I'm publishing it, like putting it on Spotify and stuff and like mastering it and everything, I would say total time working probably like 7 or 8 hours. That's probably what I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
7 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
Total on a song?
Yeah.
I think it probably takes you longer than that. I mean, thinking of your documentary, we take the time from when you started the album and when you ended it, and then divide that by 8.
Yeah, but some songs I worked on for longer, and also I wasn't working on the songs like diligently.
No, I agree.
I think
agree.
like
there's 2 ways to answer this. Like how long from start to finish, as in it took me 2 weeks to make this song and then upload it, or how many actual hours are you in the DAW?
That's why I prefaced it by saying like actual continuous working hours.
Yeah,
like the amount of time that I actually spend working on it, I would say would be like actually working would be probably like anywhere from like 8 to 10 hours. But like if we're talking like just, you know, I'm like eating lunch and I'm like doing other things and like living a normal life in between.
Yeah.
Probably it's going to take me like 2 to 3 days to get a song up for sure.
Yeah, I mean mine's much longer. Cuz I'm thinking of mastering. Like when I was doing my album for the last 2 weeks, I was just mixing and mastering. Yeah. And that's really what I spend most of my time doing for most of those days. So I don't know. A long time.
Yeah. I mean, I can spend a lot longer on songs, but I think there's a certain point where you realize like any changes that I make past this point are not going to make any difference audibly like much at all. So I just like I'm definitely a perfectionist, but about like certain things more than others. Like when it comes to recording, I'm definitely a perfectionist when it comes to recording. And I think being a perfectionist when it comes to recording helps me to not be a perfectionist in so many of the other areas. Because if I get the recording perfect, or not perfect, but if I get a really good recording to begin with, you don't have to do so much other crap to it later on. So, yeah, I think it depends. I mean, also the thing is too, like, it depends on how in-depth the song is too. Like I would say a good estimate is anywhere from like 1 day to maybe like a week, depending on how fast I'm working. It's hard to give you a proper answer because like it depends on how much I'm working on it. Depends on like how passionate I am about it and like all the other stuff that's involved with it too. And like also if we're talking like how long do you spend on it, meaning like we have to get a cover art and you have to like you know pitch it to Spotify and like I mean all these other things. There's a lot that goes into it. So it's like it takes a while. That is the point, I guess. Yeah.
My floor is probably 1 week. I don't think I've written a song all the way to writing to mastering or uploading less than a week. But my process is like I was saying, it's longer than it should be. And I should get better at that. But anywhere from like 1 week, or I don't know, I haven't really made, I'm thinking of my newest single. That probably took me 2 weeks from start to finish. Or 3 weeks. I don't know, man. I go to another land whenever I make a song that time doesn't even. I'm not even on the time continuum anymore.
You can in FL Studio at least you can check your project time.
Really, that's cool.
I don't know if you can do that in Ableton, but in FL Studio for each project you can see like how many hours you've worked on it. And I should check that for my the stuff that I did for the album. To see like continuous working hours.
I have screen time on my computer, so I could just do that.
True. Does it show you like Ableton screen time? That's pretty neat, actually.
Well, it goes on my phone, so sometimes I'll check my screen time and it'll say, "You've been
46 hours."
Exactly. I was scrolling TikTok that long. But then it says Ableton, and I don't have Ableton. I actually do have Ableton on my phone. There's an app.
Is it really?
I was gonna make a video for it, and like a lot of things, I filmed it, and then I said, "This sucks."
Yeah. I've had a few of those.
I made the worst song. It wasn't a song, dude. It was the worst beat ever on the Ableton app. I'm sure people can make better music than me on Ableton, but I think GarageBand or BandLab, I'm putting that over Ableton's app.
There's also an FL Studio mobile version. Mobile. I was gonna make a video of that at some point, but it's also like
I know a few people that
$15. So really? there was a kid I used to know that would make beats on his iPad. And he would make
on FL.
He would make pretty good beats actually. I don't know what he's doing now, but
you know what that made me think of? We need to do another workshop.
Yeah,
we haven't done one in so long.
I know, that was a lot of fun. I would love to do another one of those.
Yeah,
let's do that.
It's just so hard contacting Logan.
Yeah, man. It's impossible to get a hold of him.
All right, Svet, thank you for the question. I did not do well answering that question.
Yeah,
but
I don't know, a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time because there's just so many things that go into it.
I mean, but that's just like the other question, man. It's like it might take us a long time, but like it might take you not that much time, and that's totally fine. Like,
yeah,
everybody works differently, so do your thing. Just get the music out.
Yep.
Next question.
Next question is from MN. They say, "What is your favorite type of guitars?" With a capital G.
Wow.
So like
guitars. God.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Favorite type of guitars. Personally, I'm a really big fan of offset guitars, so I really like Jaguars and Jazzmasters. Those are two of my favorites. But I've never owned one. I would like to own one at some point. My dream guitar is like a nice blue Jaguar, or the what is it, like mahogany, like the dark colored wood, mahogany colored Jazzmaster, kind of like Elvis Costello's Jazzmaster. I would love to have one like that. That'd be sick. But I have pretty much always used some form of a Strat for my whole life. Also, I think I like the way that those older guitars look because they're just cool. But like, there's a lot of guitars these days that are better made than like old Fender guitars because they made those vintage guitars like Leo Fender. He wasn't a guitar player, so he designed a lot of these guitars without like actually having guitar players in mind. So
really,
yeah. So he made the Telecaster. That was the first like Fender guitar that was made. It's very uncomfortable to play. Because it doesn't have like contouring for your arms and like it doesn't have like a belly cut and all that kind of stuff. So the first Telecasters were very uncomfortable, and then they made the contemporary Telecasters, which are more like sleek and streamlined, and like they're easier to play. The neck is thinner because like a lot of those old like Fender guitars have like really thick baseball bat necks, and so it's like hard to press down chords or like it's whatever. It's hard on your fingers. It's like harder to play than normal guitar. But you have a company like Ibanez who makes like really thin neck guitars that are very easy to shred on and play really fast and all that kind of stuff. And those are like super contoured guitar bodies and all that stuff, super lightweight. And those are just a lot like ergonomically better guitars to play. But something about like just the way that I like just old shit in general. Yeah. Like I just like those old vintage Fenders and stuff like that. I'm not really a big Gibson guy, to be honest. I've never really got the hype around like Les Pauls and all that kind of stuff. Like there are some cool Gibson guitars, but I just never really been my cup of tea, to be frank. But I'm just more of a Fender guy in general. I also like a good natural wood colored guitar as well. Like you don't see a lot of electric guitars that are just like natural wood color. Yeah. So I really like when you see a good like natural wood electric guitar.
Les Pauls are usually like hollow body, right?
No, but there are.
I think that's what I think of whenever
there
I think
are
of Gibsons.
Hollow body Les Pauls. I'm pretty sure too. But Gibson Les Paul has like the circle shape. It's kind of like a snowman.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of. I think those are the prettiest guitars. I should not be answering this question. I mean, I have a 15-year-old, probably pushing 20-year-old Squier Strat that I've used for every song.
Vintage.
And then I love my acoustic, my Alvarez. So I've never really played another acoustic that's not pushing $1,000 that I've been like, this sounds a lot better than that. I mean, that I think that was $400. So
it's pretty good.
That was a huge investment getting that. But
acoustic guitars are like a whole other world too. Honestly, I'll be honest. From the times that I've played like really, really nice acoustic guitars, I don't notice a whole lot of difference in the sound between like that and like a $400
I mean, a lot of it comes down to the strings. So like, I mean, those strings are so old, but I like them. I like kind of dead. Yeah. That kind of darker sound on the acoustic.
It's all preference too. Because also there's certain things where like, for example, Gibsons have a pretty big problem with like neck dive. So like you can't really hold it in your lap very comfortably because it'll fall.
Really?
Yeah, so you kind of have to like make sure you're always holding it or have like a strap on it at all times.
Because it's heavy?
Yeah, because the neck is heavier than the body, so it'll just kind of dive down.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, not that the neck is heavier than the body because that's obviously not true, but like the weight distribution makes it so that the neck will like fall. There's a lot of weird nuanced things with guitars, but I always just find that Fender guitars just look a lot cooler and they're just a lot more classic than any others. But
what guitars have you had? What electrics have you had?
I
owned?
have had a Yamaha Pacifica. That's my original guitar. I have had a Epiphone. An Epiphone, I'm pretty sure it's a Les Paul style, because Epiphone is like the sub, like the whatever it's called, like the what do you call that? Like
Parent company.
yeah,
Little child company.
exactly. It's the child company of Gibson. And so they make like basically a lot of the same guitars, but just at cheaper prices. It's like Squier. Squier is to Fender essentially, like Epiphone is to Gibson kind of. And so I've had a Gibson like little Les Paul kind of thing, or maybe it's not Les Paul. I don't know. It's the one with the horns. It's got the horns. I don't know exactly which one that is. Maybe it's a like Les Paul like standard. Nah, whatever. I'm not even gonna try. But
If you find it, I'll put it.
Yeah. Here's a picture.
Boop.
But I've had that one.
That's Chipmunk.
Yeah.
I pranked you.
Yeah, that's Alvin. Just something totally different. And then I have my 1975 Harmony Strat, which is really nice. Well, I wouldn't say nice, but it's a cool guitar. And then any other ones? Like I've had bass guitars, obviously. I have I think it's a Cort bass guitar, which is a PJ style. It's got the precision and the jazz pickup. And then I have my Fender P-Bass, which that's probably my favorite guitar, or one of my favorites. It's very nice.
Of all guitars that you've owned?
I think so.
Really?
It's very enjoyable to play. I just like the sound of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's clean.
obviously, I like my other guitars too. My Yamaha Pacifica was a really nice guitar. I just haven't played that one because the toe knob's broken. I got to just get in there and like fix that, learn how to do it, but just not been a priority for me.
How much of your 12 string have you used?
I used it a lot on the new album. I used it a bunch for like little melodies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fair amount. It's also just weird though too, because like certain notes sound out of tune when you play them, like especially with a capo. So it's weird, and there's weird things you got to work around. So it's interesting. All of my guitars are a little bit funky, but
yeah, I mean that's what you get for Marketplace.
Exactly. And I mean, if you're buying used guitars, there's always going to be some sort of drawback.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a 12 string, that's you should definitely invest in a more expensive one if you're going to get a 12 string.
Yeah.
How much do you pay that guy?
I think it was like $80.
Yeah,
which 12 strings usually go for a lot. So.
Yeah, for $80, that's a good 12 string.
I agree. I mean, I got my acoustic guitar for $80 too, which that acoustic guitar that I have is really nice. I like.
You just got the same one that you had, right?
It's a little bit different.
Really?
But yeah, it plays a lot nicer.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a nicer model, but it's very similar, like extremely similar.
Do you have your old acoustic in Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
I have a couple guitars back there. I have the Epiphone, the electric Epiphone, and I have that guitar, which is also an Epiphone, the Epiphone acoustic, and then I have my old bass, and I have something else probably. I don't know, but something else. Yeah, because those I just like I'm not going to use, basically.
Guitars. They're cool.
Guitars are fun, man. I like guitars.
They're cool. We're definitely in a phase where we're leaning more into a lot of songs are using guitars now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember like 2010s, a lot of it was kind of synth pop vibes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more like
Sphere and shit.
Yeah, like Candy produced and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we're starting to go. Also, country's just getting more popular. So I think that has to do with it a lot too.
Totally. I think a lot of people are making like country inspired stuff now. Like the whole role model thing was very country inspired.
Dude, for Beyonce to win Country Album of the Year is
Bizarre, man.
Unbelievable.
I think I saw you like that video where the guy was like, I don't understand why people put hype around Beyonce.
Yeah,
it makes no
he
sense.
played some of the songs.
Yeah.
I didn't really listen to the album until then.
I didn't either. I knew it wasn't country, but
yeah, and then he
I didn't think it was like actually just horrible.
And it was literally like, I'm gonna back it up on you. I'm gonna twerk on you or whatever.
Yeah, country music, by the way.
Some Beyonce fans are probably spamming the comments right now. That is not what she said at all.
Honestly, I think it's more of just like a thing that's like, you just say like Beyonce's the queen of everything because that's just the thing to say. But honestly, I think they're all pieces of shit because they're all touching kids and all that kind of shit. So
here's what I will say. And the dude mentioned in the video, I'm a huge Rihanna fan.
Yeah.
Rihanna's
way more talented.
Bangers, dude.
Yeah. 100%.
Rihanna has some hits. But I mean, Beyonce definitely has some hits, but at the same
I know like 2 Beyonce songs.
Yeah.
Overhyped.
overhyped, and
Hyped. Trash.
why did she make a country album? I will never know.
Because Jay-Z's a billionaire. And, I mean, Jay-Z, the thing is, though, that being said, Jay-Z has some incredible songs.
Oh, yeah.
So, can't discredit that.
Yeah.
But that's just what happens when you're Jay-Z's wife. You just get overhyped.
Who do you think's more popular? Beyonce's more popular than Jay-Z. Yeah.
I think so, sadly.
Some people are going to be mad that you called Beyonce Jay-Z's wife.
Whatever. I mean, that's what it is, man. Yeah. It's like, dude, you're Jay-Z's wife. That's why people even know you.
Yeah, I think when they married, I mean, why am I even having this? I have no knowledge of their situation. I wasn't going to say, I'd say Jay-Z was probably wealthier than she was. But that's probably actually not true. I don't know.
Oh, I think that's definitely true. Jay-Z's a billionaire.
He's an incredibly smart businessman. Beyonce's also huge.
He's an incredibly smart businessman who's tapped in with some very powerful people doing some very suspicious things. I wonder how he became a billionaire.
He invested in baby oils in 2015.
Yeah. Put a lot of money into that. That's really weird.
Yeah, guys.
Dude, the thing is, I've always had a problem with this. Like, anybody who idolizes like big artists, you have a mental disorder. Like, you have something wrong with you. Because like
you should idolize small artists.
Yeah, you should idolize the Slodge podcast. No, but genuinely, like, if you are like idolizing, like absolutely like making these people out to be like God for you, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, no matter who it is, whether it's Kendrick or whether it's Drake or whether it's any of these people who are like super popular, if you're treating them like they're like more than human, you're a weirdo.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think being a fan is one thing and being a fan of a lot of artists is one thing, but a super fan is like, super fans are weird.
Yeah. I think super fans are so weird when it is a big artist because, like, dude, that's not special. Like, there's nothing special about that. Yeah. Like, it's one thing to be a super fan. I mean, honestly, what you're saying, like, what you're joking about is valid. Like, totally, I think it's kind of cool to be a super fan of, like, a band or an artist that's not, like, super popular because it's, like, that's cool. Like, you're rooting for somebody who deserves to be rooted for.
Yeah, and isn't a billionaire.
Like, you fucking Beyonce is not benefiting from you, like, buying all her tickets and going to her concerts. Like, even, like, Eric sent me a video of, like, MGK doing like a freestyle. It was just the worst shit I've ever seen. But it was like, who is going to these concerts? Like, you're giving this guy money for what reason? Like, he does not need it. And there's a lot of other artists. Like, I think there's so many other more deserving, more talented artists that like should be idolized over these people that are just already bajillionaires, have so much money, have so much fame and recognition already, and so much power. I'm just so like anti giving the people that are in power even more power. Yeah, and I think it's just weird to like feed into that.
Yeah. So, I mean, not to get political, but that's also the political system.
100%. Yeah, 1,000,000%. It's like
being a super fan of one party or one person.
Yeah, that I feel like our society is really based a lot on that. It's like it's like a very team-based thing. Like, people love to feel like they're a part of a team. And so, like, that's why with the whole, like, Taylor Swift and Beyonce and, like, Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter and all these other, like, huge popular artists is, like, you feel like you're a part of their, like, team. And they, like, give you a name. And, like, you're part of the, like, the Swifties or, like, whatever the hell it is.
Or Justin Bieber with, like, the Believers.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, I think it's also weird to think about when it's girls who are fans of a like guy artist, and then they're like super attracted to this person as well.
Also that's like Harry Styles and shit.
Like One Direction and Justin Bieber and all that stuff. And
I've always thought that is so bizarre because that is just like creepy. Like if a guy did that to like a female artist, it would be creepy. Like you'd get
there are definitely guy fans who are like huge, like all the artists you just mentioned. There's a lot of guy fans who are weird about that. I think just. But it's also hard. I mean, you know, humans are sexual people, so not naturally, but like they're going to be attracted to some of these people. Yeah. But that's just a weird thing to think about.
It's also such a weird dynamic because it's like you're only attracted to this person, not only, but like a big reason of why you're attracted to this person is because they're famous and powerful and like well known and all that kind of stuff. So it's not because like you inherently find them attractive. I'm sure you find them attractive as well. But
I think that has to do with it too. I think. I mean,
it definitely does.
Maybe even more so. But thinking about,
but like if they weren't famous, it would be like role model is just another guy if he's not famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm talking about like the PR team, and then them saying for like Benson Boone, like them telling Benson Boone, hey, for this cover art, take your shirt off, get a pump in, have the abs pop, and then be on rollerblades. And for like a girl, it's the same thing. It's like wear this push-up bra, be in this pose. We're gonna get you sweaty, and it's just weird, dude.
It's bizarre. I mean, we've said it before, but sex sells, and that's a huge like catchphrase that is very accurate, but also it's just weird when you kind of zoom out and see that like that's what you're being sold. Like you're being sold like on like a sexual narrative in order to pay attention to this person's music.
Yeah,
it's
guys,
like, this is supposed to be music.
Yeah, if
not porn.
But if you think about it, the things they're singing about, it makes sense that they would do that. But like
some of them, but some of them it's like, why is this your campaign?
All I'm saying is that if park rangers, if y'all see a cover art of
we're
us
taking our shirts off
without our shirts off, please send us this podcast and be like, hey guys, y'all have changed.
You sold your souls. We see.
I mean, that is just so weird to think. Also, that's all over like social media. Is these artists like posting content of them, doing these doing dances, like all that stuff. And
dude, the thing that I've thought is always so bizarre, just as like a human being in general, and this doesn't even apply, this is just going away from artists in general, it's more so just the way that people use social media and like post content on there. I've always found it so weird that you are actually posting content to a public space where anybody and everybody can see what you're saying. And the fact that you're going to say like really crazy, like wild out there shit, like obviously we say a lot of wild stuff and like put it on the internet, of course, but like it's like a bit, like we're like 90% of the things that we say are joking. But like there's a lot of people that share like extremely intimate details about their like sex life and like super like personal details. Like, dude, anyone can see this. Like, your family is gonna see this. Like your mom is gonna see this. And it goes right in also to like all of the artists who post like really kind of provocative, very sexual stuff. And they're like, yeah, it's totally fine. Like my family's totally cool with it. It's like, dude, your family needs to check you, dude. Like somebody needs to tell you like, hey, like tone it down, like chill. Like your grandma is going to go on the internet and see that. And I've always kind of kept that in mind with everything that I kind of do on the internet. Like my family supports me and supports what I do. And so they're going to see everything I do. And so I'm going to like make sure that I keep it to where like, I don't think like, you have to be super kid friendly or you have to be whatever, but like, don't share anything that you wouldn't share personally to somebody who's going to be watching that, because you don't realize that like, there's another person on the other side of the screen, when you post stuff.
Totally.
Like I had people from high school that I remember that would just post like wild shit. And it's like, dude, we are all seeing this. Like, you don't know that?
Yeah.
You don't know that we're like, I remember there was this one kid I went to school with who would always post about like credit card scams. Like he would just be like credit card scamming publicly on his Snapchat story. And we're like, this dude's going to end up in federal prison. Like he's just sharing all this information. He's like, yeah, like tap in. I got the methods and everything. It's like, bro, this is a federal crime.
Yeah, or like drug dealers on Snapchat saying like, pull
who
up.
need weed? Yeah, they got the bag, just like ounces of weed. It's like, dude, like, the feds can see this, right? It's not like private. Yeah, no, it's absolutely absurd, man.
Yeah, I mean,
the internet is forever.
Those are our favorite type of guitars.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. However we got started talking about that.
How did we do that?
Anyways, man, be careful what you post on the internet.
Totally, man.
I'm sure half of this stuff we're going to regret when we get older anyways, but
yeah.
Part of being young as well. Be young and be goofy, but be smart as well.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm going to look back on this stuff and mostly just think, I might be like, hey, that's a little cringe, but I don't even know if I'll think that because we're just being goofy. And I feel like we're confident being goofy.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really come off as that cringe. There's nothing that I'm going to regret saying on here.
I agree.
Other than just being like, okay, why did I do that? That's just kind of goofy and weird.
Yeah, I agree.
Next question is from Svet. They say, do you guys have any tips on sound selection, specifically within the indie genre? 808s.
Yeah. Plug clap. Beethoven 808 works too.
Yep. Get that little chant that goes like,
yeah, exactly, just like that.
And
actually,
then,
maybe just sample that.
Yeah, or just do that. What else?
Omnisphere, Nexus,
Nexus,
FL keys. Use some FL keys.
Sample street beefs. No, don't worry about sound selection if you're making indie music. I would say try to stay as far away from samples as you can.
Yeah, and I think if you're getting samples, just get like very dead sounding drums, like very dead muted kind of drums, like some 70s style drums would work good. I mean, any sort of like indie drum packs that you find out there would work. And
I think get drum loops as well.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to make a loop sound like a loop. We actually have a Sound Launch drum loop, so you should check that out. You can obviously do that because I have a lot of indie snares and indie kicks that I can make into, that I've made in songs before into loops, but it's easier just to have the loop.
I agree
itself.
because there's so much more nuance with like actual live recorded drum loops that you're not going to get with programming. And like, especially as I've started getting way more into drumming and into recording my own drums and putting drums in my songs, I immediately know when it's a programmed loop versus when it's real drums. So people will be able to tell. And it depends on where it's a style though also, because there's a lot of like, I think there's a lot of Daywave songs and like there's a couple of Far Caspian songs where it's like, this is a programmed drum sound and it's supposed to be. You know, it's not like trying to be anything else.
Exactly.
So make sure whatever you're doing fits the track that you're working on. I think that's the most important thing is like select sounds that work with your track. And also just in general, just pick high quality sounds. Like don't pick sounds that sound like shit. And whatever that means, what that means to me might mean something totally different to you. But also like with your guitar sounds, with your bass sounds, all that kind of stuff, you kind of have to just figure out your own tone. There's not like a like sound selection really comes more down to like selecting samples. Like that's what I think of in my head when you say sound selection, like selecting drum samples and everything like that. But I would say try to record as much live instruments as you can because that's just going to give you your own sound. And we've talked about that in multiple situations.
Yeah, start the process of eliminating samples that you use in your song. I think starting with an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar. Because if you're using sample-based guitar, you can make it work, but it's not going to sound that good. So start with that. And then next up, I would say is a bass. I think you can get some cool kind of like pad and kind of soft sounding basses out there and make them work in a song. But it's going to be easier if you actually have a live bass.
Bass is so easy to play too. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's a really good way to get into playing instruments.
Yeah.
Just play the root note a bunch of times. Play instruments.
Those are really the two ones that you need. And then just get drum packs.
You can program drums and everything and use drum packs. Like I think that works fine. But
also don't ever use splice vocal samples, please.
Stop using splice samples, please. Yeah, if there's any tip that you can follow, it's like stop using whatever those services are that you pay for samples. Just try to be as original and unique as possible. That's the biggest sound selection tip that we can give.
Start singing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Start singing right now, and if you're really not good
right
at
now
singing,
while you're watching this podcast, start singing.
Yeah,
sing a little ditty for us.
Sing along with us, guys.
Yeah,
P Diddy, let's go.
This is now a sing along podcast.
Yeah, hopefully that helps, Svet. The answer is don't even think about it. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, don't do any sounds at all. Don't put any sounds in your beats.
Götze says, "What's the last movie you watched?"
Well, you watched the full thing. I watched about half of Top Gun, the OG Top Gun. Interesting movie.
Kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks. Kind of horrible.
Wasn't very good. I will say,
I could see it being nostalgic for a lot of people.
Yeah, I can see that
It's
being
got
the
some
case.
nostalgia factor.
Acting not good. The fact that they made the plane fight scenes where you could kind of follow it. It was still pretty difficult to follow, but that's
the camera's just
but it's good directing and it's good movie making that I was entertained in those scenes because I just like thinking of us making videos. That'd be so like, how do you even do that? Yeah. Also, how did they film those? Which is super cool. A lot of times when I think this movie's not very good, I put myself in their shoes and I say, okay, how did they film this movie?
In the 80s too, when the technology was a lot more limited, it's a lot harder to do stuff like that. Like you could tell that a lot of the shots of the planes are like some guy just standing on the ground with like a giant zoom lens, like from super far away trying to get the shot. So that was interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like it that much, but it was cool to watch.
It was weird soundtrack as well. Yeah,
it was a very super 80s soundtrack.
That was the last movie we watched. What movie? The movie we watched before that was No Country. I'm trying to think of movies we watched together. Dude,
I watched that Anora movie after the...
I'm trying to think of together, though. We try to watch horror movies. And
You can never fucking pick a movie.
dude, it's difficult. I'm not good at picking movies, man, because I want to know all the options.
Yeah.
And I also
Like, we gotta check the Letterboxd reviews.
well, dude, I got to do that too. But the biggest thing is that there's 4 of us, and I say,
Yeah.
who's seen this movie? And there's always one person that's
person's
like,
seen it, yeah.
I saw it 3
I watched
months
it last
ago.
week.
Yeah. So like, I want to find a new movie that nobody's seen, but that's impossible. So there's one person I have to displease. It's kind of stressful holding the remote, but
Yeah.
But what do suck are horror movies that were made by streaming services, because they all look like a Michael Bay movie, and you're like,
Yeah.
this is not scary at all. I remember the first scene of the movie we watched. It was some Stephen King. What Stephen King book was it? I don't know what it was, but it was the first scene where they put a grave in the basement of the house.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it was just the most well lit
Yeah.
basement ever, with like red and blue somehow coming
Yeah.
in. And then there's a scene where one of the guys like trips over a table because he can't see, but I didn't believe it at all because I can see everything in the
see it.
movie.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think a lot of the like Netflix exclusive movies and stuff are just so uncreative.
Well, I think most movies nowadays feel that way.
Yeah.
Which it's mainly because we're shooting with digital cameras now and not
Yeah.
film cameras. And that makes
And
sense that
also
we're doing
they're-
that because it's so much
They're
easier.
doing all the same shots though too. It's like
Yeah.
it's like nothing new, like comparatively to anything that we've seen in the last like 10 years.
There's some really good movies that are being dropped. Dune was one of the like
Yeah.
best cinematography I've ever seen in a
Dune
movie
was incredible.
recently.
Absolutely should have won the Oscar for
Yeah.
best movie of the year. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it
you were
didn't.
talking about Nora.
I'm not even gonna get into that.
Yeah, I don't think we should get into that.
No, definitely not. Fucking insane that won an Oscar. I will say, the only thing I'm going to say is the thing that you told me, which is the movie budget was like $3 million, and the budget to try to get it to win the Oscar was like $18 million. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Next question.
Next question. Those were the movies we saw recently. Let's go to this question. What's your favorite thing you've created or worked on? I think when we were looking for questions, you said your album.
Yeah, I think right now at this current moment, I would say my album.
And I would say my little small EP as well. But also another huge thing, this channel.
Yeah,
Sound Lodge.
I think the podcast is definitely.
Yeah.
Like
Sound
just,
Lodge in general, the dreams for Sound Lodge, and then also this podcast. This podcast has been one of my favorite things I do in the week. So
yeah, and also I think just the community that we kind of built. That's another big one. That's not really as much of like a creative project or whatever, but like as far as like working on building a community, I'm very happy with just like how cool all you guys are and seeing like familiar faces in the streams and the podcasts. It's really awesome.
That's what I'm saying. We do the streams right after we film the podcasts, and having people like in the streams say, "Have y'all seen the last episode of the podcast?" or saying something about Slodgin.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool to see. So
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Park Rangers, I'm also really proud of. I think Phases is still one of my favorite songs I've ever made.
Totally.
And we made that one together.
Totally.
Also, just Park Rangers 2025.
Yeah.
It's going down.
It's going down. It's going to be big. It's going to be big epic times for the Park Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
Our first goal, get back above 150 monthly listeners. I think we were there at one point. I think we had like almost like 200 at one point.
No, I think we've just never promoted it, which is exciting.
Yeah, we also have 2 songs in there, so.
Exactly.
More songs coming soon.
What do you think is your most proud video you've ever made?
Honestly, some of my tutorial videos I'm really proud of because I took like when I do a tutorial video, I take really a lot of effort, like go really in depth, like especially with the Deftones video. Like I looked up all the different like ways to get their guitar tones and the drum sounds and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really proud of all those videos. I think I'm really proud of this album documentary that I just made too. I think it's just really cool. Documentation in general. Also, I think I'm also really proud of all the little camcorder videos that I've been doing on my other channel. Like I'm proud that I've stayed consistent with that for like almost a full year now.
That is cool.
So that's pretty neato. I don't know. I think honestly, just the channel as a whole, like the progression over time, I'm just really proud that I have done that and that I have the documentation that like I've been doing this for a long time and just figuring out what kind of works and like changing and growing and developing over time. It's kind of cool to see.
It is fun thinking about how much we've changed. and like how we're at this point now, and how much more change is going to happen moving forward. Like I have no clue what both of our channels are going to look like. I have no clue what Sound Lodge is going to look like. I have these ideas, but who knows?
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I think the idea that I had for Sound Lodge originally is totally different from what it is now, and I'm totally happy with what it is now. It's like I've obviously talked about this, I think, but it's like you can't be so attached to the outcome of things, because some things are going to turn out not the way you want, but they're still going to turn out pretty cool. So I think that's kind of the majority of everything that you do. You have a vision and you have an intention for what you want an art piece to be, but then once it goes out into the world, it ends up being something totally different. So I think that's kind of part of the cool thing of art, is that a lot of it is just kind of up to the universe and how it, unfolds just in the natural world. So yeah, I'm really proud of Sound Lodge, and I'm excited to, like you said, excited to see where it goes and what everything that we're doing becomes in the future.
2025.
Jim doing fab.
Shouts out to everybody who's copped a new piece of merch.
Yeah. Like in the description, we got two new merch designs out. We got
2 people bought new merch designs, so shouts out to y'all. This is public apology to those 2 people though, because we don't currently have enough money to send out the merch designs.
We don't have money right now.
Yeah,
so.
but we're getting a payout today, so hopefully by the time you're watching this podcast, you have received an email saying that your products have shipped.
Yeah. And the more people that buy merch, the quicker we'll be able to send out your merch orders.
Exactly. So. But no, very cool designs. We're going to be copying a tester of the fish design soon, and we'll be making I don't know if we'll make a designated video for that, but we'll definitely take some pictures and put that up on the shop and just show them on the podcast. Yeah. If you won the lottery, what's the first thing you're doing? From Svet. This is the last question of the podcast.
First thing you're doing?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm not going to joke here. I'm going to be serious. What is the first thing I'm doing if I won the lottery? I would probably
buy a bunch of drugs.
Yeah, so I knew you were going to say that, but I'm probably going to be starting I don't know if I would want my kids to have like a trust, because then that would just kind of spoil them. But they're going to get spoiled anyway if I have $1 million.
You can make the trust that like is only accessible after like a certain amount of years or whatever.
So I might do that. I think what I would do, because I have no money right now, is just I would instantly put half of it in a college fund for my kids.
Good idea.
So I don't have to worry about that moving forward. Yeah. And then like something that like I can't touch, because there's a chance. I mean, I'm confident that I wouldn't blow all the money just because I've been broke for so long that my cost of spending is low.
Yeah.
And throughout the years, I've learned that, drugs and drinking and doing all these things really don't make you that happy. But at the same time, we're all human, so I could totally succumb to that stuff.
Though.
Yeah. And you're losing all your money.
Yeah. No. We know who's losing the money here.
Yeah. No, I'm confident neither of us would. But at the same time, we are human. So like there is totally a chance that we would get sucked into that stuff.
Yeah. See, the thing is, I just would never... I don't think I ever foresee myself living above my means. Like I'm always going to live below my means. No matter how much money I have, I'm probably just going to always like be eating chicken and rice.
But that's what I'm saying is like below your means when you're a multi-millionaire is a lot higher than where you're at right now.
That's the thing is though, like I'll probably live a little bit above where I'm at now, but like not that much. So the amount of money that I'm going to be saving is going to be like an unheard of amount.
Yeah.
So like I'm honestly probably I would just, like you said, take a lot of that money and put it into like a college fund. I would probably invest a lot of that money into like an index fund or something, or even just like a high yield savings account.
Yeah.
Just put like absolutely a boatload of money into a high yield savings account, or maybe like a CD or something, like a money market, something like that, just so that I can get a high return on the actual money that I've made.
Dude, the thing is though, that would actually suck, is winning the lottery at our age, because I think most of the joy that I get out of making music and having a YouTube channel is the fact that I'm documenting the grind.
Yeah, it's a grind.
And without the grind, there's really nothing to look forward to. I mean, in an instant, I would lose everything that I'm trying to chase.
Because the goal is achieved.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole, I mean, they say that the joy is in the journey, and now the journey's gone. Because I've achieved success in monetary means. So
that makes sense. Yeah, I would just spend it all on drugs then.
You're like, I have to get rid of this, guys.
You've convinced me. I'm spending it all on hookers and coke.
So what I was thinking is, I think I would maybe just send it to like a charity,
Yeah.
Like, not all of it, but maybe 80%. But at the same time, most charities kind of suck.
I wouldn't do that shit. I'd give it to my mom.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I'd disperse it throughout
and then
my
your mom
family.
would do a bunch of drugs.
Then my mom would buy a bunch of drugs. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I'm definitely, if I win the lottery, I wouldn't want really all that money. I would definitely like basically take it and put it somewhere where I can't touch it.
That's what I'm saying. I would probably give.
I would give a large percentage to my family.
Yeah,
definitely.
exactly. I would hope that I would give most of it away to friends and family to where, because most people say like, most people lose all that money.
Yeah.
Not right away, but it takes some time. There's only a few people that win the lottery. But also at the same time, people who are betting on the lottery are not mostly people that yeah. So there's a different demographic in these situations. But at the same time, winning the lottery isn't going to make you that happy. They say that like one guy, you have two people, one guy breaks his leg or becomes paralyzed. One guy becomes paralyzed, one guy wins the lottery. And obviously the guy who wins the lottery, his joy in life goes up. Dude who becomes paralyzed goes down. But they say after, I don't know how long it is, but let's say a year, they both go back to baseline. And then after 2 years, the person who was paralyzed, he actually goes above baseline.
Yeah, and his baseline for appreciation for life is a lot higher than the guy who wins the lottery too. I think, all right, we'll answer this in like probably the way that they want us to answer it. What's like, if you won the lottery, what's one thing that you're going to like definitely splurge on?
Yeah.
For yourself?
I would get a bunch of camera gear, a bunch of music gear. I would get a lot of analog music gear. I think getting a bunch of synths would be the coolest thing. I really want like a stack of synths.
Yeah.
I think that'd be the coolest thing ever. Totally. Getting some nice guitars would be awesome. Not getting a mansion, but getting a house that's big enough. Maybe even having like a little guest place in the backyard. Yeah. That's like the studio.
Yeah.
Like having my own studio would just be the coolest thing ever, and splurging in the sense that I would make it very aesthetic. Yeah. And I just have all these dreams of having my own studio and stuff. So I would definitely, I'm not saying I wouldn't splurge, because I would splurge on those things.
Totally. I pretty much agree with what you're saying. I would buy a shit ton of land. I don't really need a mansion. Like I need just like a house that's sizable enough. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but definitely with enough room for a studio. And like you said, maybe like a separate room that is just the studio, like separated from the house. Definitely a bunch of land, somewhere nice with like forest and mountains and all that kind of stuff. That'd be awesome. Also, probably buy like a nice car, like maybe a cool truck, maybe like an ATV to ride around on the land. That'd be cool. Maybe like a dirt bike or something. I would buy a motorcycle, a cool motorcycle.
Dude, should we start playing the lottery?
Let's start winning the lottery, man. Because
this is actually
dope. Yeah. No, I would definitely also buy like a dream guitar or two of mine, and then definitely some synths. Definitely reel-to-reel tape. I'd buy a new computer, that's for sure.
Dude, yeah,
that'd be a big one for me.
I'd get an actual PC and then a nice laptop.
Yeah, totally. And just other like little random gear stuff. But that's pretty much like all that I would do. I wouldn't go crazy. Yeah. I definitely buy probably a new car for my mom. Probably pay off my grandpa's house. Probably buy the house that my mom lives in so that we like own it. And probably just other like little things like that. Yeah. Probably get a new place for my nana as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I would instantly.
And drugs. I'll buy drugs too.
That's most of it. Yeah. No, I would pay off all my brother's college debt. Yeah. Because that's something that I've never had to deal with.
True.
So I would do that for them.
That'd be a nice vibe too.
And then my parents probably wouldn't give them anything. Probably just put it all for my brothers.
That'd be fine. Yeah. It's not like they can't play the lottery too.
I earned this.
Yeah. I worked hard for this money.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I think next Sound Lodge podcast we'll have 2 lottery tickets, and we'll start.
We start off every episode with playing lottery.
Start promoting gambling. Also, my Instagram, I'm going to become Drake. Yeah, start going to do a bunch of steak ads,
promos. Yeah,
I love how Steak just sends him $1 million. Yeah, and he's like,
"Here, just gamble it,
dude." He literally made a post recently that said, "Guys, this post means nothing. I'm just posting this to promote at Steak so they can send me another $1 million." Yeah. Unbelievable.
That's crazy, man.
I think he
just giving him money for no reason
has a problem.
Yeah, it's a severe gambling problem for sure at that point. He has an addiction.
Yeah, I just think of him sitting next to his little huge like iPad table at his mansion, and he just has the hookah thing. Yeah. Just taking rips of the hookah and then doing bets.
Gambling. Yeah.
With a little AI lady on the screen.
What a life, man.
Yeah.
That's the answer to the question. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
Dude, but I see that and I don't want that life.
No,
Like,
right.
he's alone, man.
100%.
And even if he does find a woman, the whole time he's like, she just wants me for my money.
exactly.
That would suck.
Yeah, that does suck. I think that's actually first thing that I would do if I won the lottery. I would tell no one because that is the worst thing you can do. Is
That's
like
so true.
announcing to everybody that you won the
Yeah,
lottery.
you'd start losing friends and you'd be like,
Yeah.
dude, I thought you were my friend, man.
Mhm.
That would suck.
Exactly. Money changes people, man,
Yeah.
and it'll change the people who get the money too. So
Well, the thing is you just won, let's say $5 million. Somebody comes up to you and says, hey, man, 10 grand ain't nothing to you, which is true.
you're like, I guess that's true.
Yeah, and then you just give them 10 grand and then
Then you have 30 people saying that,
and then they're going to be coming back too.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
That is a good point. I wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah, keep it secret for sure.
I wouldn't even cash it in.
Yeah, I just wouldn't give a fuck. I'm like, whatever, it's cool. But I'm
It's cool. No, I mean that's really one of our biggest factors on our YouTube channels is the fact that we're struggling, you know, and that's why a lot of people resonate with us, that we're trying to figure it out.
we're just
and
like normal dudes.
Yeah, and to lose that in one day because we won the lottery would actually suck. But it'd be
Yeah.
nice to get some land and do all that stuff.
I agree.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
That'd be
We would have to probably spend it all though, so that we can go back to struggling again.
true. But then everybody would just say, just sell all of your profits. You have 8
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, exactly. Then we sell everything, we make like several million again. I don't know. I don't want to win the lottery. I don't think it'd be fun, but I'd rather just build it from the bottom up.
I think I'd send it all to PewDiePie.
Yeah, I'd send it all to the Church of Scientology.
Become the leader of Scientology in OKC.
yeah.
Just lose touch with your YouTube channel.
Yeah. Spend all of my money on Scientology courses.
Yeah, man.
Guys, it really helps with my communications. My communications got so much better after I took this $7,000 Scientology course.
Yeah, Felix was telling me about the whole Braille YouTube skateboarding channel that I used to be a huge fan of. We both were. And I had just
massive
no
fan.
clue the dude is fucking the head of Scientology in San Francisco.
Absolutely absurd, man.
Unbelievable. All of his workers have just slowly quit because he's forgot about his YouTube channel.
Yeah, and he's paying him fucking minimum wage to make him like millions
while
of
he's
dollars.
dropping $20,000 on courses on how to talk to people.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
Real, man.
Guys, Scientology is not a scam. It's totally legitimate religion that you can join. and
we
you
should
don't have
start
to
our
pay.
own Sound Lodge.
Sound
We're
like
going to start
religion.
making courses.
Yeah,
How to talk to women.
yeah. $70,000. You have
What's
to complete
worse
the
than not
course.
being able to talk to women? Paying $70,000 to talk to women.
Dude, that's the thing that sucks the most is that Scientology preys on people like that who are
Yeah.
desperate to like improve those areas of their
But then
life.
you think of Tom Cruise and you're like, how did he?
Great point. Like,
They got some stuff on him.
yeah,
He can't leave.
They know some shit,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. That's basically what it is that, well, I looked that up. Like when we were
Mhm.
talking about Scientology, is like essentially the premise of Scientology is they convince you that your life and your past experiences that you've had in your life hinder you from like progressing and then unlocking your magical powers as a human. So they take the stuff that you tell them, like your like confessions of like, oh, I like when I was 13, I did this, like I blew up a gas tank or something and like killed a bunch of people. They take that and blackmail you with it, hold it over your head, and then make you pay for their courses because that's going to help you like reach your enlightenment or whatever. So it's basically just like a pyramid scheme that is also blackmailing you.
Yeah.
But it's a totally legitimate religion. You should definitely.
But
join
a
it.
lot of rich people are in that religion, which is pretty wild.
True. They got a lot of information on those rich people. Pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. I was going to say something.
It's pretty cool, guys. All right, now I'm going to list off some of the most interesting names on the Epstein's contact list.
JFK files are dropping soon.
Yeah,
Excited for that.
that's going to be pretty lit, man.
It's going to be probably what we all think.
Yeah. I think we might actually get flagged for saying Epstein.
Really?
So we'll cut that out. I think, actually, I remember watching the Flesh Simulator video, and he couldn't say it for the first 30 seconds, and he was like, hopefully I wasted enough time, so that's 30 seconds, and now I can say Epstein in the video.
That's hilarious.
pretty funny.
Yeah, guys, we're probably gonna wrap it up now. So thanks for watching. We've been filming for 2 hours, I think.
That's pretty crazy mode, man.
Oh, you think we might break the 2 hour mark? I don't know. I
Crazy.
don't think we will,
24-hour podcast?
but that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
All this being
let's
said,
stall for another 10 minutes.
Yeah. If one of y'all is a Scientologist, we'd love to have you on the podcast. That'd be an interesting conversation.
It would. I'd love to hear the inner workings of it. I'm sure they have you, blackmailing you. But
what kind of blood do you drink?
Yeah, baby's blood, perhaps. All right, yeah, guys. So we're watching this movie tonight. We're watching The Fighter tonight. On
no stream.
We're watching it on stream. Have you ever seen those like Twitch streams where they'll watch the movie but they can't show the movie because it'll be copyright? So they just like tell you to play the movie at the same time, and then it's just full like screen of them reacting to the movie.
I've seen my favorite streams are when they're doing like it's some soccer match and they act like they're playing FIFA.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's so.
Those
funny.
are so funny.
Those are so good. My favorite streams are when they're in the hot tub and they have their clothes off.
Yep. And then if you donate enough money, they write your name on their list.
Yeah,
with Sharpie.
They get up and they write your name on the chalkboard, but they have to show their ass to the camera when they get up and write their name.
Yeah. And then they drop things quite often on those streams.
Yeah.
But those streams are just like, because a lot of people make hot tub content. There's nothing sexual about that, so like that's why it's still on Twitch, because it's completely normal behavior.
It's not like sexual or anything.
No.
It's totally not like taking advantage of the system.
No, not at all.
It's purely like just entertainment purposes and educational.
Yeah,
it's a lot of times for the gameplay too.
Oh yeah, we just hit 2 hour mark.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like, I think it's 1:30 right now.
Yeah,
I think we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, guys, continue to ask us questions. Hopefully you enjoy this podcast. Hopefully we're not wasting your time. Let us know, how can we be better? Do we ramble too much? Are we weird? And once you say these comments and you tell us how to be better, we're most likely not going to take any of your advice, because then we'd start not enjoying doing the podcast. And then what's the point if we don't enjoy it and we aren't ourselves? So actually, if you have any feedback, actually don't give us feedback.
I can't think of anything to say right now, but I'm still having a good time.
Oh yeah, I was going to say this. Are you worried we'd run out of things to say on these podcasts?
I don't think we'd ever run out of things to say. I think we might run out of questions, but we will never run out of things to say.
That is so true.
I think there's been several episodes where we ran out of questions, but we just keep talking anyways, so we will never run out of things to say.
No, very true. Yeah. Yeah. Go buy the merch, guys.
Buy the merch. Buy the sound packs too. Actually, that's another thing. I'm really proud of the rain sample pack that we made. I think it's a really awesome pack.
Folly packs.
Awesome, yeah. We got to do some more of those.
Yeah, we're going to be doing more folly packs, more packs in general, more stuff like that. So do it.
Yep. Bring me up.
Oh, we have a song dropping today. There's no way anybody's still watching this podcast right now.
Absolutely not.
To the 5 people, we have a podcast dropping. Or...
Yeah, we do. And we have a song dropping.
We have a new podcast dropping, guys. No, we have a new song, Share the Stars. It's on Fizo. It's on all platforms. Go listen to it.
Go listen to that. Go check it out, man. Pretty cool song, I would say. We made it a while ago. It's cool. It's pretty cool. And it's pretty cool, actually, if you're wondering. There's a slight buzzing sound, a slight frequency that I'm hearing. I think it's being emitted from the light that's turned on. I can pick it up ever so slightly. If I turn my ear this way, you can hear it a little better.
Well, I've just learned that I'm losing my hearing, guys.
You might be. You're a little older than me. You got some years on me.
Yeah, there's a steep drop off in 1 year. You're gonna lose
singular years. Like you lose a bunch of frequency range. It also could be completely a hallucination. I'm completely fabricating it, and then I drive myself crazy trying to figure out what it is. Drive myself.
We're stalling so much trying to hit that 2 hour mark. Yeah. My back is sweating, dude. Keep watching the podcast. And if you watch this whole podcast, you're a real one. You're a real slodger.
For real. And if you watch this far into the podcast, I want you to leave a comment down in the comments below that says, in quotation marks, I watched this whole podcast, man. That I'm a real fan of this.
We're going to get none of those comments,
podcast.
And it's going to be sad.
No, we're going to get one of those. And you should say, I watched this whole podcast, and I'm a real fan of the podcast, man. The cool episode, guys. And then exclamation point, and then emoji of a moon of some kind. Moon emoji. and then end quotes, and that's your comment. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Slodgin podcast. Episode 20.
Oh, we should do something crazy for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be the roommate episode.
Yeah. We should drink on that episode. Drunk podcast.
We got a question from Vet.
Another question from Zombie X Leader, one of their 3 people who ask questions in the Discord. We got a question from
The mic's like over here.
Götze, Svet, and Zombie X Leader. We got our shit out here.
Next podcast. Yeah. Well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you.